Hey everyone, it's Ange from Diz Our Dream and welcome to my kitchen. So we are doing a collab. I'm doing a collab with a few other people and I'll put all of that information in the description. But we are doing a collab on preparing some spring meals. That's what this one is. So each month we're gonna try to do a different one, but this month the theme is spring. And I am in charge of one of the pieces of the meal. So I think we're gonna do appetizer, we're gonna do a main meal, we're going to do dessert, we're gonna do drinks. So this time I have main meal, although this could actually be an appetizer, I guess. So we're gonna put all of it together and see what everyone thinks. So today I'm going to make chicken tortellini soup. So let me show you what that includes. So I have the tortellini that's already kind of pre-packaged here. I don't make my own tortellini, so I'll just use something like that. I have chicken stock, which typically I make my own chicken stock. I'll get a rotisserie chicken and we eat the chicken and then I put the bones into a pan and I put in celery, carrots, and onion, and I make my own broth. But since I don't have that right now, I'm going to use something that I always have in my pantry, which is chicken stock. And then I also have celery, and I have baby carrots, and I have onion, and I have chicken breast. So what I'm going to do is kind of put that all together. It's really simple and quick and easy, and I wanted to share that with everyone. So first, typically what I do is I cook my vegetables a little bit because the tortellini is already cooked. It doesn't really need to cook very long. Even the chicken, when I cut it up small enough, it's not going to need to cook as long. And the kids aren't huge fans of the vegetables. So I do like to, I'm laughing because my cameraman Abby over here, they're not real wild about the vegetables. So I let them cook a little longer. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get these all cut up. I'm gonna throw them in the pot. We're gonna get those cooking for about 15, 20 minutes, and then I'll add the rest of the ingredients. All right, so what I'll do first is I'll just cut up this onion, and I have a chopper that actually probably works a lot better just to make it small enough, like I said, because the kids aren't huge fans, but I'm just gonna go ahead and do it this way this time, and they'll just have to deal with it. So I'll throw those in. Okay, and now we will add the celery. And I know the kids, typically they like just the carrots. They're not big fans of celery either. I myself love celery, but I like it to be cooked. If it's, I'm not a big fan of raw celery. And I think what I'm gonna do is make a double batch because this tortellini is a pretty big container. So it's enough to feed us maybe for a couple of days. And it's something that you can store after you make it. So you could either store it in the refrigerator, you could probably even freeze it, which I've never done because it usually goes fairly quickly. So I'll get these carrots cut up a little bit here. I'm not a big fan of carrots, believe it or not, but the kids love them. So I do put a decent amount of carrots in. We'll do maybe one more carrot in here. And that'll be it for the vegetables. All right, so here are my vegetables in the pot. If my assistant would like to come over and see. So this is what we have here. I'm gonna throw just a little bit of water in there and let them cook for a while, and then I'll throw in my, my chicken stock. While those veggies are cooking a little bit, I'm going to get the chicken breast here and cut that up and just get that into a bowl. So a lot of times I like to work with chicken tenders because they are a little smaller and easier to deal with, but these happen to be on sale. So that's what made me pick the chicken breast here. And it is pretty thick, but like I said, I'm making a double batch. So, but yeah, we'll just get this all cut up. And then I am going to, after handling this chicken, I'm going to wash my hands, get rid of the cutting board, and I will disinfect my counter here after working with the chicken. And then we will see how everything's doing. All right, so I'm using my Clorox wipes, which are a hot commodity right now. So I'm trying to be careful with these, how many I'm using. But we did find today that I sent Jeff had to run to Walmart and get milk, and we were told that eggs were hard to find, and he actually brought home 2 dozen, which is what we normally buy, and he said that the grocery store was stocked with eggs and milk. So I felt pretty good about that. That's good to know, because some of the things that you take for granted, like always being able to go to the store and grab milk or eggs, all of a sudden they're not there, and you're like, wow, this is just really a different way to have to live your life. But I was very happy that they did have the eggs and the milk today. Okay, so our veggies are starting to cook down in here a little bit. So I think what I'm gonna do then is go ahead and add in the chicken stock. All right, so this chicken broth, like I said, is really easy to work with. I usually make my own chicken stock, but in this case, I'm using what I have in my pantry since we don't have a rotisserie chicken. And you could also bake a chicken and use the bones from that. You really get a lot of good flavor from the chicken bones. And you know, there's a lot to be said for bone broth. Everyone's talking about how healthy it is for you, how good it is. I don't know if it's chicken bone or not. I have to do more research on that. But in this case, we're just going to use the chicken stock. Okay, so I am going to use the two boxes of this chicken broth, and I buy the low sodium. And usually what I'll do is I'll add more salt as needed, and we also may have to add more water. So I kind of do things, I kind of wing things. I know that a lot of people do follow recipes, and if it's something that's very involved, I will follow a recipe for it, because obviously you don't want to mess it up. But in this case, I just kind of do what I feel works, and I'll add extra water. Obviously I'll add salt and pepper too, and I usually just kind of taste it and see what I think. Okay, so while this is coming to a boil, I'm going to put in some salt and pepper now, and I'm using my Mickey Mouse pepper mill, and I'm using my Mickey Mouse salt grinder, and again, I'm just kind of winging it, and I'll try it later and see. And I also add, a lot of times I'll add fresh basil to it, which I don't have fresh basil, so I'm going to have to add dry basil that I have up in my pantry. So sometimes you just have to wing it, and that's what we're doing today. All right, so here are my basil leaves that I'm going to throw in, and I usually put in a good amount because it really gives it a good flavor, I think. I love the basil leaves. So we'll let that come to a boil. And then once it's come to a boil, we're going to throw in our chicken, let that cook for a little bit, and we'll add our tortellini, and we will be finished. That is going to need a little more salt. So I'm going to go ahead and add that to the broth. And I think we're at the point now where we can throw in our chicken. So I'm going to grab that bowl here and throw in the chicken. And I'll let this cook probably about, the broth is super hot. So this chicken is going to cook fairly quickly. I'll let that cook about 5 minutes, and then I'm going to add the tortellini. Okay, so you can see here, this chicken has been cooking for about 5 minutes, and you can see it's already just about cooked. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna throw in the tortellini. I'm gonna do it with my hand because I have this feeling if I dump it, it's gonna splash everywhere. So again, this is something that's quick and easy. Oh, let's try it. Again, I'm winging it. Oh, it is splashing a little bit. All right, we're gonna go back to the hand because that is hot. The directions in the box say to cook it for about 8 minutes. So we'll let that go for a little longer, maybe like 10 minutes. We'll let that cook, and those will get soft, and we'll see how it all turns out. Okay, so we are back, and these noodles have been cooking for just about eight minutes. Actually, the packaging said 4 minutes. So I don't know if I mentioned these tortellini are the fresh tortellini that you get them in the freezer section. I know sometimes you can buy dry tortellini, like dry pasta, and you can make it that way. But this was actually in the refrigerated section. So it said 4 minutes. I usually let it go a little longer. And you see these guys have really puffed up. Look at them. So I think they look really good. And I know whenever I put the soup into a bowl, I use a ladle, because this spoon obviously isn't gonna get all the noodle, veggie, chickeny goodness in there. So go ahead and turn this off. And we are going to ladle this into a bowl. And we will give it a try. So you can see there's all the nice spring vegetables in there, and the chicken. Everything's cooked up nicely. And we will go ahead and give it a taste. All right, so this is the finished product. Now I know Abby likes to add Parmesan cheese to hers, grated Parmesan cheese, but to me these are cheesy enough as is. So I'm gonna let this cool for a couple minutes, and then we are going to give it a try. Okay, so Abby is going to try it. It's hot. Hot. Hot, but good, right? Mm-hmm. All right, you're gonna add some extra cheese to it? Mm-hmm. Abby's gonna throw some extra cheese in it, and then we are going to let Jeff try it and see what he thinks. Good stuff? Mm-hmm. Jeff's gonna try it. Hot?
Hot.
Hot but good, right?
Oh, I love this.
Okay.
The noodles are so soft and
yep.
flavorful.
Mm-hmm. Do you need extra cheese for it or no?
Nope.
No.
I don't need no stinking cheese.
Cheesy enough.
Yep.
Just like Jeff. Well, thanks for watching, everyone, for joining us. And again, this is our collaboration for springtime meal idea. And it's our progressive meal. It's myself, it's Lena from Paper, Scissors, Vacations, Oh My, Jamie from LadyJamers, it's Kenzie from Kenzie Days, and I'm not sure if Mama Mouse is going to join us. We will see. You'll know when the video is posted if she's involved, but we're hoping we can convince her. So I'm going to enjoy my soup, and we will see you all soon. Bye.